Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating narrative that totally deconstructs how we think about success, chance, and destiny. We're going to look closely at two very distinct lives, a writer and an actress, and see exactly how their paths intertwine. By the end of this, we'll uncover the hidden mechanics of serendipity and what it actually takes to, really make it.
But first, I want you to picture something. Think about a moment in your life when everything just seemed to be going perfectly. You're riding high, things are smooth sailing, and then suddenly, bam! Without any warning whatsoever, things just stop working. It's a completely universal experience, right? Well, the narrative we're breaking down today hooks us right away with this exact scenario. When success suddenly stalls out, it leaves us completely uncertain, scrambling in the dark, and desperately searching for a reason in all the chaos.
So, that begs the ultimate question. How much does luck actually matter in all of this? Is it really true, like the old cliché says, that when one door closes, a window opens? Or is life honestly just kind of driving itself, swerving and changing pace totally independent of us? Like, how much do we actually control the steering wheel? Keep those big philosophical questions in the back of your mind as we start to unpack the journeys of our two main characters.
All right, let's get into it with Section 1, Two Paths to Success, Contrasting Origins.
So right out of the gate, there's this incredibly stark contrast between where our two characters begin. Take the writer. He's the oldest child, of parents who dreamed of this big, perfectly united family. He straight up admits he was used to having way more than he ever needed. And his response to that privilege? He just constantly strived to be the best at everything, pouring all of that into his writing. Then on the flip side, we have the actress. She grew up with her grandparents, but sadly her happy childhood slowly just faded away. She ended up moving to the city to try and make something of herself, but literally went hungry because of a greedy greengrocer. What this shows us is that the desperate need for a lucky break doesn't care if you come from wealth or hardship. But your starting line? Yeah, that's vastly different.
Let's actually zoom in a little closer on the actress's background for a second. Her childhood didn't just end overnight, it sort of agonizingly faded away, piece by piece. The losses she faced were so specific and they just kept piling up. First, she lost her grandfather, then her grandmother. After that, even the little elements of her home life slipped away, the chicken, the plant, and just heartbreakingly, her dog lost its sight. It was this massive accumulation of tragedy that finally pushed her to the city. She thought it would be a fresh start, but instead it immediately forced her into this gritty life of pure survival and hunger.
Moving right along to Section 2, the anatomy of chance, the domino effect.
Okay, here's where things get wild. The crucial point about the writer's massive rise to fame is that it was entirely an accident, just a chaotic, totally passive chain reaction. One morning, he has a lucky accident and happens to meet Beatrice. Beatrice is the first one to read his work. She loves it, so she shows it to Jack, who literally can't put it down. Jack passes it to Celine, who is deeply touched by it. Celine hands it off to Professor Pingot. Pingot is so blown away he can't even believe the writer wrote it, so he shows it to Mr. Connor, who, get this, just so happens to own a major publisher. Next thing you know, his first edition is sold out, they're printing a second, and he's at the very top of the rankings. He didn't hustle for this. He basically just sat back while this random domino effect exploded his life.
But wait, how is the actress doing in the meantime? Well, she also caught a stroke of luck. She met a hairdresser, started delivering hair for theater wigs, and then one day, the lead actress missed a final rehearsal. Our delivery girl? She already knew the text by heart, and she sees that opportunity instantly. Which perfectly brings us to her current, crazy life balance. 50% of her time, she's grinding as a delivery girl for a company called Click. The other 50%, she's an actress rehearsing for her first leading role. She bought a bike just so she can get to theater school in the morning and still deliver packages all afternoon. She is absolutely hustling to keep this dream alive.
And that brings us to Section 3, the vertigo of fame. So, acting in her capacity as a delivery girl, the actress eventually arrives at the writer's home with a package. During a super spontaneous chat over coffee, which the writer jokingly calls 5 incorrect minutes, they start talking about his celebrity status. She asks him flat out what it's like being famous. And he shares this incredibly profound realization. He says fame is a spot on the tip of the nose. Everyone sees it except you. Think about that. He explains that you really only realize you care about fame when you stop seeing your name in the papers or when nobody greets you on the street anymore. It's this bizarrely isolating, confusing reality.
And the worst part? That rapid fame has completely destroyed his creativity. He confesses to her that he is in a massive crisis. The ideas just aren't coming anymore. He shot up so high,
so incredibly fast that it totally warped his perspective. I love how he puts it here. Inspiration suffers from vertigo and heights. It's like his creativity just got dizzy and packed its bags, leaving him staring at a completely blank page.
As time passes, his editor starts demanding to know why he isn't writing, and the writer realizes he doesn't have an answer. He's spiraling into the ultimate psychological trap, severe imposter syndrome. He actually wonders out loud to the actress if his success was literally just a sum of fortunate events. Was it just dumb luck? Was he just in the right place at the right time? And his absolute darkest fear, the thing keeping him up at night, is the terrifying thought that maybe he never actually had any talent to begin with. His entirely passive luck has left him feeling completely hollow.
Let's dive into Section 4, Manufacturing Your Own Luck.
All right, get ready because here is the massive plot twist. The actress listens to all his fears, and then she drops a bombshell confession. This random meeting of theirs? Yeah, it wasn't random at all. She knew exactly who he was the entire time. His book had been her absolute lifeline during her darkest, hungriest days in the city. And that upcoming play where she has the lead role, she wrote it, and it's directly inspired by his book. When she took the job at the delivery company, she actively fantasized about getting his route just so she could meet him. She didn't wait for the dominoes to fall. She completely orchestrated this serendipity herself.
And guys, this leads us to the absolute core takeaway of this entire story. She looks at him and says, sometimes you have to help luck a little bit. Look at the incredible contrast here. The writer passively rode a wave of crazy luck and ended up totally paralyzed by imposter syndrome. But the actress, she went through agonizing hardship, yet she actively chased every single tiny opportunity, essentially forcing her own luck into existence to make this exact meeting happen.
So, after she invites him to the premiere of her play and heads for the door, the writer finally cuts open the package she made him sign for earlier. And this right here is the ultimate metaphor for their entire encounter. He opens it up and yells out to her, "Hey, there is nothing in the box." The box is entirely empty. She didn't deliver him a physical item at all.
She just turns, smiles back at him, and delivers this perfect parting line. Look again, maybe this time you have luck. By handing him an empty box, she was actually hand-delivering an opportunity. She gave him back his inspiration, she gave him a real human connection, and she gave him living, breathing proof that his work actually mattered in the world. She delivered the exact kind of luck he needed to snap out of his creative vertigo.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to pass the mic directly to you. We've just seen how passive chance can launch you to the top, but leave you feeling like an absolute fraud, whereas actively orchestrating your moments can change the entire trajectory of your life. So, look closely at your own situation right now. Will you make your own luck today? Are you just sitting around waiting for the dominoes to fall, or are you packing an empty box and knocking on the right door? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this incredible story.